What is up, players? It's Warboss Tay back up in this mug. Welcome to day 30 of the July Painting Challenge 2020. Here's my retrospective. Looking back, tell us about the experience of the Warboss Tay Painting Challenge. It was great. Did you accomplish what you set out to do? Yes and no. I wanted to set up my hobby space, and then when I did the unboxing review of the Putrid Blight Kings, I wanted to finish at least 3 of those by the end of the month. And if I could do it all over again, what would I change? I would probably have a more concrete goal than set up my hobby space in my new place, because that's kind of open to interpretation. If I said I want to have my paints organized by, color or brand, or have them all organized in my paint drawer, have a space for podcasting and another for filming, and have a tutorial space set up, then I think that might have been a little bit helpful. But would I change it? And if I had to do it again, I really liked painting those Putrid Blight Kings. I think that's what's most important. I can look back and think how I would have done it differently, but I don't think I would go back, because I am very pleased with how these big boys came out. So let's show them to you. Here's looking at you, kid. I realized when I went back and I looked at the photos of this guy, his one of his little eyeballs on his belly is a little bit too janky. I guess the one in the lower right. But I really love how, I think I mentioned this in the video yesterday, if you glaze your Tamiya Clear Red with Nurgle's Rot, it creates this fantastic looking bloody pus mixture. You don't want to mix it because you don't want the red and the green to get mixed up, but you want the Tamiya Clear Red to be completely dry and glossy and wet, so that when wet looking, you don't want it actually wet, so that when you put the Nurgle's Rot on top, it's just sitting on the gloss. Here's Fly Guy. I shaded his eyeballs, and then I did some ard coat over them. Anything that's an eyeball, I did ard coat over so that it would have a nice glossy finish. You could use any kind of gloss varnish to get the same effect. And his horns, all of the horns were basically Rakarth flesh shaded with Seraphim Sepia, as my lady boss says, Seraphim Sepia, and then highlighted up with Screaming Skull. And here's Big Daddy. His Big Daddy. He's got his little Nurgling in his stomach. I painted the Nurgling's skin Scarsnick green so it'll really pop out. And then I painted his eyeballs with Flash Kids yellow. And here's a closer look at him. I wanted the tentacle to be purple coming out of his hand, but I didn't want it to look completely alien from him. So I gave it some fleshy undertones. I wanted it to look a little bit like it had a purple membrane kind of skin over the actual fleshy colored appendage. I used Nihilak Oxide, I think I might have mentioned, for doing the verdigris on all of the brass bits. I think it came out really nicely, and I actually added a little bit of known oil to his horn, or his spike on his helmet. You can see it in the earlier part in the video to give it some depth and shade, and I think it came out really well. Fly Guy was a lot of fun to paint because I had to be very clear and consistent with how I was painting the spikes on his head versus his little teeth mandible things. So I did his teeth as actual, like how I would paint teeth and fangs and claws, and then I painted the little spikes on his head with a highlight of Dark Reaper to give it a cold blue aspect. And he is looking at you, kid, is really, really gross. He's so gross. Oh man, I look at him and I'm like, it's like the tears. If you look at his skin, the eyeballs aren't just popping out of his skin. It looks like they bubbled up and they cracked and split his skin. So I added some Tamiya Clear Red. Oh boy, it's great. See you tomorrow for day 31, you guys. This video is getting a little bit too long for my taste, and I'm going to go take a shower. Thanks for watching. Latest, players!